So we are going to be continuing this lecture by searching or writing a method to search for items inside of our linked list. And previously we added a print node method and also a delete node method. Now we are going to say a search node. So with a scenario of what if we wanted to search for items, or what if we wanted our method to return true. So let's say return true if there is an item inside of our linked list. Okay, so I'm going to name this search node, and basically what this does is it returns true or false if we found a value. So I'm going to keep a variable here named flag and set its initial value to false. And if you want to do this by yourself, feel free to pause the video and try to solve it by yourself. So we want to be able to search for particular data. So in case you want to say, oh, is 32 in the list? We're just going to insert 32 into this method. So we say while. A while loop would be very suitable for this operation. So we'd say while core is not equal to null. And if you've seen here, I missed to say core. You'll probably be writing a lot of core statements or core and prev when you're inserting or doing linked list stuff. And the next condition I want to check for is the data inside. So we basically could use this particular while loop here, something like that, and say while core is not equal to null and core dot get data is not equal to data. Then we say move core. We don't need a prev pointer here because core is going to do all the work for us. And if you want to understand why I said we don't need that, you can actually draw it yourself and see for yourself that we don't need that. Okay, so this is going to move so as long as this is not in the list. And what if the item is in the list? Well, it's the same as this condition. If the item is inside of the list, we would have a condition called if core is not equal to null. Then we want to set our flag to true. We don't need to do anything because we just want to return a Boolean value. And we're going to return flag. Now let's test this method out to see if it actually works. I have not tested this yet. And if you're reading the notes and this code is kind of different in the notes, it's just, I probably just thought of this right now because it's just coming up from my head. So it could be different. It could be the same. Let's test it out. So now we are deleting the node 21. So we don't expect 21 to be there, right? Let's say list dot search node and let's search for 21. Well, we know that if this returns true, then our method does not actually work. So let's run this and see. Okay, so it doesn't return anything. Why is that? Well, we didn't tell it to return anything. We only said set flag to true. We can return something by saying, maybe putting a print statement here and writing flag, the value out in flag. So this is just, it doesn't really return anything because it returns a flag, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't print out anything. So let's test this again, see if this is going to print out. Perfect. Now we have something, it returned something, and it's only doing this because we are searching for the node before we print out the next values in the node. So let's assume we are not deleting 21. Let's assume we're deleting 32. Then we expect this to be true, right? Because we are deleting 32 and searching for 21. So 21 should still be inside of this list. So let's run this, see if it works. Perfect. Now we know that our method works because it's obviously returning true that there's a 21 in the list. What if we search for something that isn't there? should always think of base cases. And base cases is literally what would happen to my program if I did something out of the ordinary. Okay, so what are we searching for? 34. 34 is definitely not in the list and it returns false. Make sure your program is not crashing on base cases, okay? So now we've written a method to search for nodes and we did basically the same thing. And make sure you're not tampering with top. Again, do not tamper with top. Don't say while top is not equal to null, because when you move top, the moment you move top, you've screwed up your list, okay? You've destroyed everything. So you always use something that points to it. So if you're writing in C or C++, you know that this would probably have a star here, but because we're not working with C or C++, we just leave this here. So now we are done with our search method and it works, everything works perfectly. What if you wanted to return the data inside of the search node? Well, if you wanted to do something else, because if we said if core is not equal to null, remember how we searched for 34 and 34 was not inside of our linked list in the first place. Well, we could write something here, an else statement saying, oh, you know what, we didn't find anything. And then we say something like, this item is not in the list. So let's try to run this again to see if this works. Perfect. Now it returns this item is not in the list for 34. But if we search for 32, which we deleted here, it's not going to show us that statement. Or it's going to show us the statement because it's actually not in the list anymore. Yeah, so it's going to show us the statement here and tell us when the items are not in the list. So yeah, that's all we have for this video.